Hi, welcome to another video presentation brought to you by Alkaline Water Malaysia. Now this will be a four-part series on the topic of alkaline water benefits, and this is part one of this four-part series. And the part one will address the issue the topic of understanding body waste. Now, alkaline water benefits. When we talk about alkaline water benefits, we basically refer to the health benefits of alkaline water. Now, but before we can really talk about how alkaline water would benefit health, we need to have some fundamental and foundational knowledge of several concepts and topics. And this part one video will be one of the topic, which is understanding body wastes. And in the second article, we're going to address our body, not the complete system, but the relevant part of the body in dealing with the body wastes. And then in the third article or the third video, we will be talking about how body waste can lead to diseases and sickness. Okay. And finally, on the fourth video and article, we will address, having all these concepts and topics established, we will talk about alkaline water benefits. Now, let's get into this first video, understanding body wastes. Now, first of all, we need to establish the fact that any body wastes not removed from the body will lead to diseases. I think whether it's medical or health professional generally agree on this point, that waste accumulated in the body leads to illnesses. Now, because of that, the body waste need to be removed or expelled from the body. Now, there are various terms used to address body waste. Some call it free radicals, some call it toxins, and some call it acidic waste, or some merely call it wastes. Basically, they refer to the same thing and the same idea behind it, which is basically harmful and harmful materials that are that are damaging to the body and our health. Now, body wastes. When we talk about body wastes, most people would think about stool, the thing that comes out from the back end, and bowel movement, and the solid wastes. Okay, and the moment you talk about removing body waste, people tend to think about detox or detoxification, basically cleaning up the colon or the gut. Now, of course, this is very important. The bowel movement or the expelling the stool from the body is very important, because any problem in bowel movement will spell trouble to the body. One very obvious example is colon problems, or the colon illness, such as colon cancer and other colon-related diseases. Now, when this stool or the bowel movement, the stuff that expel through bowel movement, are basically food leftovers and plus a small amount of liquid wastes, except during diarrhea or food poisoning. There'll be a lot more liquid in the stool. Now, what are food leftovers? When we talk about food leftovers here, we are not talking about your overnight dishes that you cannot finish. It's basically the food that we take inside the body, and you go through the stomach and end up in the small intestines. As the food goes in from the mouth through the gastrointestinal tract, there will be digestion and so on, breaking down of the food occurring. And finally, when they reach the intestines, and there are stuff that the body cannot use, okay, and cannot digest or cannot absorb. And these are the food leftovers that are ended up in the stool, okay. So this type of waste we can understand as waste generated outside the cells, okay, not from within the cell. As food move along the gastrointestinal tract, and these are the things that will not enter the body, okay, and these are supposed to be expelled from bowel movement, okay? But of course, we do know that there are many individuals who are having bowel movement, constipation, and so on, and that will lead to another set of problem, also diseases and illnesses, okay? But in this video here, we are talking about, especially in relation to alkaline water benefits, we are talking about another category of waste which we call waste generated through cellular metabolism. In other words, these waste are generated inside the cell, okay? And this waste still need to be removed from the body, okay? And how do these wastes come about? Basically, these wastes are produced from processes within the cells, such as energy production, cellular repair, and cell growth, okay? All these processes will generate wastes, and we call them cellular metabolic wastes. Now, this when we talk about cellular metabolic waste, is often neglected or ignored and not emphasized very much. But in fact, this category of waste is a big problem to the body, okay? Other than the bowel movement, this is in fact, there's the amount of waste from the cellular metabolic or the cellular metabolisms are huge, okay? And the body needs some way to get rid of those. Now, if you look at the commercial products in the market, and most of them would deal with, the waste produced through the bowel of the gut movement, okay? These are things like detoxification products and products that help you clean up your colon. Now, here in this video, we're going to drill into the cellular metabolic wastes. Now, first of all, before we talk about waste, we need to look at our food, okay? Now, most of us know that food is made up of carbohydrates and proteins and fats, okay? And these carbohydrates, proteins, and fats are basically made up from four chemical elements: carbon, nitrogen, hydrogen, and oxygen. But of course, food stuff also contains inorganic minerals, sometimes we call micronutrients, okay? Now the inorganic minerals can be classified into two types. One is acid forming and the other one is alkaline forming. Acid forming would include things like chlorine, sulfur, phosphorus, and iodine, whereas alkaline forming minerals would cover things like sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and iron, okay? These are the so-called alkaline forming minerals. Now, the cellular metabolism of the food that gets into the body, okay, that exit the gastrointestinal tract and enter into the food stream and ended up inside the cell, okay, that is where the metabolism inside the cell occurs, and they produce two types of wastes, okay? One is inorganic wastes, and the other one is organic wastes. Inorganic waste basically has its roots in inorganic minerals, whereas organic waste are mostly from carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Now, the inorganic wastes are acidic, and some of them are poisonous. For example, sulfur, food containing sulfur, will lead to production of sulfuric acid, okay? If the food has phosphorus, such as rice, they will produce phosphoric acid, and then chlorine will lead to production of hydrochloric acid, and all these are acidic and poisonous. As we know, they are acid, and therefore it's important that they are neutralized and then gotten rid of somehow, either out of the body through whichever channel, which we will address in the next video. Now, then we come to the organic waste. These are primarily from carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. In other words, these wastes are mainly consisting of the four basic elements: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen, okay? And these organic wastes are also acidic, okay? And in terms of the amount, they are much greater, much much greater amount than the inorganic wastes produced, generated from food. Examples of organic wastes would include things like acetic acid, lactic acid, cholesterol, uric acid, fatty acids, and ammonia. Now, just a side point here, not many people know that cholesterol can be produced as one of the waste or from the body. Most people think that you only eat food high in cholesterol, then you produce cholesterol. No, cholesterol is actually derived, or what we call a derivatives or byproducts of fatty acids. So when you have fat stored in your body, even you eat nothing, we still burn nutrients in order to live. So from there, you can still produce cholesterol, uric acid, lactic acid. Lactic acid is particularly when you exercise a lot, particularly when you do very hectic exercise, lactic acid is produced. Okay, uric acid, I think many people know that. When your uric acid is too high, you end up with problem like gout and whatnot. Okay, and joint pain. And so these are the organic wastes that we're talking about. So let's recap and summarize. Okay, the food we eat, some of the things will be made use of the body, and the ones that cannot be used by the body or cannot be used by the cells are termed wastes. Okay, and this waste, depending on the type of waste, it can be expelled from the body through bowel movement. Okay, for this cellular metabolic wastes we're talking about, they are basically inorganic and organic wastes. Okay, and all these wastes must be neutralized. The cellular metabolic wastes must be neutralized and gotten rid of. Okay, or else it will lead to problems in the body and health, which we will address in future video. Okay, once again, thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and we hope you will watch the next video, which will be coming soon, and all the way to the fourth video where we address the topic of alkaline water benefits. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.